Hey friends, this is the Mrs. Wolfie from Life with the Wolfies, and I'm making strawberry jam because that's Papa's favorite. And he brought home the strawberries. But I'm not cooking it this year, it's just too hot. So I'm gonna make strawberry freezer jam. Okay, so we're making freezer jam, and like any other jam, you don't do more than one recipe at a time. So freezer jam takes 2 cups of berries crushed. Now this is a 4-cup measure, but Howie doesn't like chunks of fruit in his jam, so we're going to puree it until we get, and we're going to continue to puree until we have 2 cups of pureed strawberries. I miss my old blender, it was much better. I suppose I could just put these in the blender, but this is the best way to measure this while I'm working on it. Now I have 2 packages of Certo, so that means I'm making 2 recipes. If I have strawberries left over, I'll just simply bag them and freeze them. So I'm just going to pour 2 cups in here, like that, right down to the 2/3 mark. And now we're going to add 4 cups sugar. Now listen, folks, this is going to have to go back in the fridge and set, because my sugar is coarse brown sugar, and it has to dissolve, and we need 4 cups. 1, 2, oh, this isn't even cups. This is half cups. So I need 8 of these. 3, that's a lot of sugar. When I cook my jam, I use less sugar, and I just cook it longer. 8. Okay, there is 1 recipe. This has to go in the fridge until the sugar dissolves. And obviously it's not going to be the pretty pink color of freezer jam. Why? Because the sugar's brown. Okay? So this is going in the fridge until the granulated sugar dissolves. In the meantime, we will continue to crush more berries. And then the rest of the berries I'll put in the freezer, and I'll make jam another day, or we'll have them on top of something. And that is 2 cups, almost exactly. A little bit more. But then there's some lumps in here. Now, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take the rest of these strawberries and put them in takeout containers that we save from like Chinese food. We don't eat it often, but these containers last a long time. I could put these all in 1 bag, but in reality, you know, you want them in portions so that you can just take one out and use it for a dessert. Go. And these all go in the freezer. And then half-gallon jars actually have measurements on them. So 4 cups of sugar is, go, 4 cups of sugar. And then our berries. And again, we just get this sugar all mixed in. Now while your berries, you can use plastic tubs, you can use jars. I'm going to use jars. So while your berries are soaking in that sugar, to dissolve it, wash your jars and get them ready. Wash your jars and lids, or your tubs and lids, and get them ready. This is going in the fridge again with the other one. This is the one we put in the fridge before. You can see chunks of fruit floating to the top. Again, see how this is now turning into like a strawberry almost syrup? So in about an hour or two, we're going to be able to make these into freezer jam. We'll be back then. Okay, let's check on our first. This has been in the fridge for over an hour. I can still feel some grit, and this is because it's a coarse sugar, so we really want to make sure. There's still a little bit of sugar, but this is coming out very nicely. So we're going to let this, we're going to put this back in the fridge. Now this wouldn't have this wouldn't take this much time if I just used plain white sugar, but we don't do white sugar. So this just needs a little extra step of time to make the sugar, to let the sugar dissolve. Now, I'm going to put this back in the fridge, and we're going to get our Surdo and our lemon juice ready. I'll tell you something, folks. This is from the 1950s, and this is one of the best juicing machines I've ever seen. For each pouch of Surdo, you're going to need a 1/4 cup of lemon juice, or the juice of 1 whole lemon. Okay. Now, why am I doing this separately like this? Because, folks, you never double your recipes. If you double the recipe, it won't set properly. To squeeze this together to get all that out of there. Yeah, you're learning all kinds of stuff today, aren't you? Squeeze the scissor handles together and pull. Just like that. Awesome. Now we're just going to stir these because we want these to be ready when the berries are. Okay? The whole trick with making good jam and freezer jam is knowing when not to double a recipe. Okay? So we'll be back in an hour when the strawberries have finally dissolved all the sugar. Alrighty, we're ready to start jarring up our jam. Here are 10 half-pint jars washed and rinsed. Now this is a really good time to use the lids that come with your jars, because when I can, I use 4 jars, right? But these Bernardin lids and stuff that come with your jars, save them for stuff like this. And I have 1 pint jar just in case I have enough to make Howie a ready-made jar for the fridge. All right, first off, okay. So now I've got our first bowl out here, and we're gonna add in our pectin and lemon juice. Make sure you get all of it. We mix the lemon in that together. We're just gonna push this off on the side here. Alrighty. We're just going to mix this all in here. And make sure it is well blended. Okay. Now our jars don't have to be sterilized. They just have to be washed and clean. So I'm going to I'm using my funnel just to keep the edge of the jar clean. There we go, to a 1/2 inch from the top. Always, always. Now I'm going to set these in a box. Why? Because they have to set. So as we fill these, I'm going to be standing them in this box so that I don't have to move them. You want them to sit and set and gel, right? I have lots of space in the freezer. So if I don't have to cook it, and can it, then I'm going to save myself some overheating, right? I remember when freezer jam became really popular. Bruno Gerussi, a famous Canadian actor, used to did this commercial.
When Grandma made jam, it took forever. And the mess. When I make jam, I do it without cooking in 30 minutes with this Certo Fruit Pectin. I mix sugar with crushed fresh fruit, stir in lemon juice, half a bottle of Certo, pour in the jars, and that's it. From this to this. Just 30 minutes. Then let it set. No mess, no cooking. Grandma never had it so easy.
And then he showed how to make freezer jam. I've heard people tell that a flat of strawberries right now are going for $50. We bought these on sale. They're USA. They were washed in vinegar and baking soda and rinsed in cold water. And Howie paid $1.88 a package. And if we do the math with the sugar, and I paid $12.47, roughly, 10-pound bag of sugar. So I used a third of a bag. So we're going to say $4 for the sugar, $12 for the berries. And we got 3 tubs of strawberries. 10 half-pint jars of jam, 3 tubs of strawberries in the freezer for later on down the road. Yeah, I'm soaked in sweat. Each jar of jam, we're going to leave them sit in these jars in this box overnight to set. And then we'll put them in the freezer. $16 got me 10 jars of jam and 3 tubs, 3 2-cup tubs of strawberries in the freezer. That means these were $1.50 a piece or less. This is Mrs. Volfe from Life with the Volfe saying if it's too hot to cook the jam, make freezer jam. Save yourself the blood, sweat, and tears. And you're still squeezing the quarter by making it yourself. Take care, God bless.